Tonight on Gray Flannel Suits, we talk to Justin Whitaker, co-founder of Popsicle.com, musical talent DJ Chuck Norris, and I'm your host, Daniel Sammons. Like and subscribe, and check out our website, gfstv.net.
How's everybody feeling? We good?
You're feeling all right, sir.
Always a pleasure to be here. Always.
I got Plex in the mail peak season. Shout out to my UPS workers, making sure I receive it. You could do it too, believe it. I've been throw up the sex in
That is DJ Truck Norris.
Thank you.
Yeah, unbelievable. And by the way, I had the opportunity to watch you DJ like at a party.
An amazing party. Let's talk about that. Thank you for bringing me in on that.
It was amazing. And that party that I had the privilege of attending, not only was it a phenomenal party because it was a buddy's 50th birthday party, and Truck came through because they had hired a DJ, and the DJ crapped out in the last week. And so, desperate, I was like, I'm going to reach out to Truck because they put it on me. I'm like, I know
they did
Truck,
the right thing.
They did the right thing, man. You play. How many hours did you play?
Let's see. I got there about maybe noon, 1 o'clock. I was there. It was about 12 hours. I mean,
yeah, it sure was.
But it was like it felt great though. Like seriously, like I don't know. It was one of those events. It was just like, man, this is a really good event. Like,
yeah. Listen, that you killed it. In fact, my fiance went on an ice run, and when she came back, she was like, you know what? She didn't see nobody yet because the fence was up. She's like, there's a party going on in this neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, like it was one of those nights. It was like everything was just perfect.
All right, so listen, I've heard before that most DJs in town that they only have maybe like an hour or two of material. Is that true? And if so, how many hours do you think you got? Like reality.
I mean,
without repeating the same song.
Oh, I could without repeating the same song. I could do, if I had to, I could do. So in my hard drive, there's 3 months worth of music. 3 months. Yeah.
If you're looking for one of the best DJs in town, and I am not joking, if you want your party to just rock and roll, right? Like it is this man right here, Truck Norris, and we will put his information at the end of this podcast.
Thank you.
And get you anything we can, man, because he is phenomenal. Thank you for being here, by the way.
Thank you for having me. Like seriously, like it's always an honor to be here. Always have an amazing time. So
we do, and we're gonna
call me whenever. Time. Call me whenever.
Absolutely, we're gonna have an amazing time tonight because we are sitting here with the owner of Popsicle, and the name is not spelled what you think it might be spelled. It is very interesting, and we're going to get into that. But who I'm talking about is Justin Whitaker, and he is the owner of Popsicle. Justin, welcome to Gray Flannel Suits, sir.
Hey, Dan.
How are you?
Great.
How was your 4th of July?
You know, it was pretty good. It was laid back. We were at home. We didn't see fireworks, which was nice. It was relaxing. We went to...
What about pots and pans? Did anybody beat those in the neighborhood? That's what I used to do as a kid.
Probably. We were in Midtown in Carmel and kind of hung out, had a couple cocktails and drinks down there, and let the kids play. It was great.
I think next year I'm going to light my own fireworks.
Yeah, that's where it's at.
That's where it's at.
The guy that I DJ'd
all
for
you need.
had a wireless detonator. I'm like, how serious? I'm like, literally, he said, everybody enjoy the show. And he sat down and like, yeah.
He might have been demanding a ransom or something. I mean, it's not like he's going to blow himself up.
So they had a mini cannon that they fired off every hour. And it got annoying because you're trying to DJ and a cannon goes off. And it's like, oh,
shake, and you
like,
mix the wrong buttons.
Yeah. Good times.
Well, listen, man, I'm glad we all had a great 4th of July.
Definitely.
And I appreciate, again, both of you guys being here as a guest on Gray Flannel Suits. I did want to dive in to Justin, like your new company, because you own another company, but this is something brand new, and from what I understand, is very, very relevant. And again, it is called Popsicle. It is spelled Popsixle. So let's first start with what's up with the spelling.
So the spelling of popsicle, number one, I think everybody likes popsicles, but it is relevant because it has a lot to do with Facebook and the way that Facebook measures data is with a pixel, and we wanted it to pop, so it was a pop pixel.
Oh, okay. So that makes sense. And when you talk about pixels, you're talking about the code or whatever Facebook uses to track impressions, or is pixel used in other places? What do you mean by pixel?
We'll get into a lot more of that, I think, later. But
okay.
Pixel, really simply, is a way that it sends signals, which is data, back to Facebook to evaluate what people are doing and what they're interested in, what they're not interested in, things like that.
Okay. All right. So I want to make sure we were talking about the same pixel, and it sounds like we are.
Yeah.
We are.
You use it for a lot of different things.
Yeah.
We are.
And Truck, you are also a computer programmer or
I am a budding developer.
Blossoming, I think is a better word.
I appreciate that. So I studied JavaScript. Now I'm doing Python. So yeah, I'm trying to get into the game.
Now we understand kind of what the pixel means in the name. What exactly is the issue that Popsicle is around for? Like, what's the deal?
Yeah, so there was a security update with all Apple devices almost a couple of years ago now. It was called iOS 14, and iOS 14 essentially added security measures to protect your private data, your name, your email, things like that you would enter on a website and Facebook's able to collect.
So just to make sure I understand, Apple, you're talking about Apple.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So Apple, iOS devices, iPhones, iPads, things like that. Previous to that, Facebook kind of had full reins on what they could collect for user data, and it was very unrestricted. Well, Apple decided, hey, we're going to go down this road. We're really going to focus on privacy, focusing on data being your data. So we're releasing the security patch, and here's iOS 14, and it really caused havoc for Facebook.
Okay, so when you say havoc for a layman like me, what issues did it cause? Like, what was the big deal?
So the biggest issue is when businesses use Facebook for advertising purposes, and there are, like 13 million of them across the globe. There's a lot of businesses that use Facebook for ads. The way that those ads are relevant to you as a person, if you see V-neck t-shirt ads, right, versus a winter coat ad in the middle of the summer, it knows that because the way it collects data, and it sends that data from your website back to Facebook, and Facebook goes, oh, Dan likes, V-necks. Great. Here's a V-neck ad. Without that, it's really hard for Facebook to learn those bits and pieces.
And that's coming from your phone?
It's coming from a lot of places, but your phone is, it's a big part of people's browsing history, right? So it caused havoc on companies that use Facebook for advertising purposes. And in turn, it made them more expensive. It made them less profitable. It didn't allow them to scale. And overall, the cost to advertise on Facebook has skyrocketed because of it.
Okay, so the other phones, other than Apple, like Samsung, that run on Android, they didn't have that issue. So literally what you're saying is the reason it was a big deal is they lost half the market.
66% to be exact.
Wow. Okay. So
now, when you want to talk about it with 66%, that's a lot. But looking at the amount of data this is just not for e-commerce. This is for business to business. This is for everything. It's a huge amount of revenue lost.
Yeah.
And there was no solution. None at all.
Well, that's a good stat. I'm just off the top of my brain. I'm thinking, is there a different also demographic for who owns an iPhone as opposed to an Android?
There is. For e-commerce, it's typically a little bit higher average order value. With e-commerce, there is more people shopping online with iPhones than there are Androids. I don't know exactly why, but those are just general stats.
I've been hearing a little bit about this, and companies have been having to address it. And there's been notices that have gone out on Facebook that you have to acknowledge almost, and that I am aware that this is an issue or could be an issue. So first of all, before we get into what this thing does, I'm sure everybody wants to know, like Popsicle, is it unique? Is there anybody else doing this?
So no, there's not. We started building this over a year ago. I had a conversation with an account manager at Facebook, and she was talking to me about something that they heard internally that Apple was working on this new security patch, and the effects could be pretty detrimental to Facebook as a company. Turns out she was spot on. Mm-hmm. So, over the course of the last year, we tried to find out solutions on how to fix the problem, and 2 months ago, we launched officially Popsicle. Now we've been working with about 50 brands so far, and we've had great success. But, it's something where few people understand why it's necessary, and then they just understand that there's a problem because their ads aren't profitable.
Which we're going to get into.
Right.
So I guess, this is intriguing.
To relate it to personal finances, if you don't know what you're spending and you don't know what returns you're getting back, that's a problem.
That is a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. And most savvy business owners want to know that stuff.
Right.
Everybody wants to know ROI.
Mm-hmm.
It's necessary. You have to. So,
okay.
Especially if you're spending money.
Right.
So I guess I have to ask, because I've been a diehard Apple user, computers, phones, all of it, right? They talk all the time about privacy, how they've got this thing handled, and privacy is not an issue. What's your take on that?
They're a for-profit company, as is Facebook, as is Popsicle. So they have done a better job of being transparent about data, where other platforms out there, Android included, have not been as transparent. And, Facebook back in the day was not very transparent about data, which is why people have mistrust for it. I think with Apple, they've done a really good job of making it something aware that people should be aware about, and at least, in the know of that they have things about themselves out there that they probably want a little bit of say on, should or shouldn't be.
Okay. So how did you know? Because it sounds like you were ahead of everybody on this thing. Like you forecasted it, that it's going to be an issue, maybe before it was actually made public. So how'd you come across this?
I'll explain how it works a little bit, and that would help this context. So the way that our technology works is it's essentially a second generation website pixel. And what that means is it collects data more efficiently than what's out there in the marketplace now. which is browser-based tracking. It's cookies. Everybody's heard of a website cookie. Not a lot of people understand what they actually do, but cookies are kind of dying. Browser-based technology is dying, and Apple kind of started that trend of saying, here we're going to offer a solution of giving you more of your privacy back, or at least your ability to make a decision about it, by blocking it automatically. So automatically, by default, you're opted out.
You're being
your
censored.
privacy, right?
You're being censored.
Right. More importantly, the company that you worked hard to build, that you worked blood, sweat, and tears to build, you don't have control any longer.
So is this going to be more of a mobile kind of tracking? Because you mentioned cookies. Cookies are mainly browsers. I guess all browsers have them, right? And that's going to die off, which was first round technology as far as I'm concerned. Like that thing, that's been around forever, right? And people are scared of them and, whatever. But how do you track using this system? How does it report back what you're getting, what the demographic is? How does that work?
So the way that our platform works, it's called server-side tracking instead of browser-based. So we are connected with the API, which is the actual website itself, whether it's e-commerce, whether it's lead gen, or whatever the objective is on the website. We connect directly with that website. We have a snippet code that drops on your website, and it connects to our servers, and then our servers push that back to Facebook. And Facebook essentially goes, oh, that's who you were looking for. You're looking for people that are interested in blue V-neck shirts. Got it. Because without it, and you're browsing this blue V-neck shirt, it can't identify that out of the box. So Popsicle added a way for that data to be pushed ultimately back to Facebook. But the best part is that we do it in a better privacy standard than Facebook ever did.
Wow.
God.
Wow. It sounds like you're onto something big.
Yeah. I mean, because you said you put that on the server side. That's impressive.
It's real data.
Yeah.
So there's you asked me if there's other competition out there. There is competition out there. There's plenty of AI platforms. There's plenty of machine learning. There's plenty of platforms out there that give you back implied information, meaning that to the best of their ability, forecast what you are or are not interested in. It does that. That's far from perfect because it's a machine. Ours is real, physical, actual data, but it's anonymized.
Okay. So if somebody came to you, the major problems, we know they want to know where their return's coming from. What else does it solve for? Like, why should they come to you? What are they trying to solve?
They have lost the ability to control the profitability for Facebook ads. And secondly, they don't know how to measure it. So because they don't know how to measure it and they can't control how profitable it is any longer, they're saying their solutions are find a different solution than Facebook ads, or, stop them altogether because we can't figure them out. Facebook arguably has the best machine learning in the entire planet. It's Instagram. It delivers the best content in the world. Right. And it does that because it has great machine learning. Now, without that engine driving all that content and your great, amazing blue shirt that you have on.
Thank you.
It doesn't know why. It doesn't know how. It doesn't know what color you like, what size you are, if you're a boy or girl, if you're old or young. It has no idea. So taking away that is very detrimental on businesses trying to survive from Facebook.
Which is why somebody needs to hire you, right? So, I mean, truly.
So it's a SaaS. It's a SaaS platform. So it's easy. It's subscription. They get on our website. They sign up. They get a 14-day free trial. And then after they can measure and see results happening, then they pay a monthly license cost, and that's it.
I'm legitimately interested.
There's 3 tiers. Check out the website, popsicle.com.
Okay.
There's 3 tiers, and you'll look at, essentially we price it based on how much revenue you bring in on a monthly basis or the amount of website events that you process.
Okay.
Wow. All right. So you're giving away, some people would say a contract or whatever, but you're saying, come to us. If this works out, like it's almost like an attorney on commission, right? They're saying you don't pay unless we get you some sort of result. And that's what you're saying. Like, hey, come on, try it out. You like what you see, continue.
It either works or it doesn't work.
Right. And there's not much that you can make up about it.
No.
Pretty factual.
And, for the business owner, they can measure that by they're making more money or they're not making more money.
Right. Okay. So I'm excited about this. Where can somebody find you?
Popsicle.com with an X, Popsicle with an X. I have two other partners, two other co-founders, and my co-founders, Noah and Zach, are amazing. Very, very lucky to meet them. Noah is the tech, Zach is the product. I have the marketing background, and the three of us really understand the necessity for something like this to be in the marketplace, and we happen to be probably one of the first to do it.
I am stoked. We might be talking to the next Bill Gates.
Yeah.
Possibly.
I'm trying to get it on the ground floor.
Well, that is really exciting, man. I can't wait to see how that plays out. Sounds like you guys are on the forefront of it. So
thanks.
We're excited for you guys to be here.
A lot of hard work, a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, but a couple months right before we launched, we were kind of shaking our heads, thinking, I think this doesn't work. I think we need to shut it down. And then we figured it out, and the light turned green, literally.
Yeah.
And here we are.
How'd you meet your wife?
She was working for the person who owned the real estate. She managed all his businesses. I was trying to help promote this concert. Horrible failure of a concert, by the way. It was awful. It was cold out. Okay. I was trying to organize the sound company. They put up the stage and they put it in a corner. She comes out and she goes, "You need to move that stage." And I go, "No." And she said, "Well, we're in the parking lot. You need to move the stage over there." And I go, "Well, that's not going to happen." And she said, "Why?" And I said, "Because it's a stage. You can't just pick it up and move it." Right. So the answer is no.
Unless you have 300 Amish men. Yeah. They can move a barn. I've seen it.
I've seen that video too.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah.
They could have moved your stage.
They could have.
But you had a couple.
But it's going to take you like 2 hours to get to Amish country. Like, they're not in downtown Indy hanging out.
No, and even if they start their way now, it's going to take like a month.
Yeah, because they're on a horse and buggy.
I know.
Right. Okay.
So I told her no, which who knew? She didn't like being told no.
What woman does?
So we ended up in
trouble for that one.
We ended up leaving.
That was my first thought.
We left the concert to go have tequila at Bakersfield in Mass Ave.
I love that place.
Yeah,
I love that place. What do you drink when you go there?
Tequila.
Well, any certain type?
I like the PBR boots.
The what?
The PBR boots.
PBR boots.
They have
PBR with a shot of
PBR on draft, and they pour it in a big glass boot.
Is there anything else in it, or just PBR in a boot?
PBR in a boot.
You put a shot of tequila on the side, right?
I've drank PBR in a boot before.
Yeah,
like a leather boot. It was hard times. Don't judge me.
Had PBR in a beer bong. Those were fun times.
So wait a minute. I digress. Where do we go from? You guys met in a parking lot. What happened? Did we get there yet? Or did I skip it?
You know what happened. Well, they're married now.
Then we both went on our way and called each other cordially the following day.
Yeah.
They went to Bakersfield and had tequila.
Oh, wait a minute. So you wait a second. Because I know a little thing about love. I don't know if you know this, but I know some things about love.
The love doctor.
Yeah, I've been called that. Dr. Dan, the love doctor. So was it a passing by? Did you shrug shoulders or did you have a conversation?
In the parking lot?
Yeah.
No, she came out to tell me move the stage.
Wait, who did?
Haley.
It was you?
Wife.
Oh, I was not making.
Where have you been?
I just got here. so
some lady told him,
that all
and
makes
we
sense.
didn't know.
I was
we
thinking
just met
some
at
crotchety
Bakersfield.
woman that walked out with gray hair like a church lady. Like, move your stage. I didn't think it would be Haley.
No. It was my wife who I'm married to.
Well, she's pretty hip.
Yeah.
I can imagine. But I love that hold on. This brings a whole dynamic. You didn't move the stage?
No.
No. Okay.
The concert failed. I think we ended up making about $17-18.
What?
It was horrible.
That's like one beer.
No, I mean
That's horrible.
It was so bad.
That's the
so bad.
worst. How many
was-
people showed up? Just you? Did you drink that beer?
Well, it got really cold that day, and I did drink that beer.
Yeah.
I would say in the neighborhood of 7 people.
Jesus.
Wow.
I don't
That's
know.
what happens when you don't hire
But
truck doors.
you know what's more important? Exactly.
I'm exaggerating. I mean, it was way less than we budgeted for.
It
Put that
doesn't
way.
matter how many people showed up. What matters is, did they have fun?
Well, I did because I got married a year later.
Yeah. Oh,
Ish.
that's a callback. That's called a
2
callback.
years.
I would not want to marry somebody that was a lay down. I need some like. Derek, I saw your face when I said lay down. That's what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is somebody that has like they don't need me. They don't need me, and
Yeah.
that's the best person for me. For me, now you got to know yourself. Some people it's codependency. I don't know.
Need me for something, damn it. Like,
You just want to be in
not
there
mu-
somewhere.
Need me, like, give me a wink and, like, call me upstairs. Like, need me for something, damn it. Everything else, you do what you want.
All right. So I got some questions for you, Justin.
We got some answers.
Well, we'll see about that.
We will see.
All right, so I got a few questions. All right, have you heard about the new deep telescope in space? The new telescope that's in deep space. Let me reverse that.
I'm arguably one of the most knowledgeable people about it.
No, you're not. Are you?
No, not at all. No,
Do you know much about astronomy?
it exists.
Oh, it's there. I can look up and see it's there. But do you know? Are you about stars?
No,
What's a
don't.
good constellation that you know? Just throw one out.
Orion,
It's the most obvious. You can see that year round.
Pegasus,
Oh, you're gonna throw out Pegasus. You're just throwing out names. How about Cygnus the Swan?
Jesus.
How about after?
Okay, so listen, I can't remember the name of this. What my producer what was it? James Webb, named after him. He used to use tissue paper rolls, but then he's advanced, and so he has his own telescope that is. I was trying to move past that bad joke, but you called it out, and I appreciate that.
Damn.
So, this telescope is the first telescope of its kind. I don't know if you guys know this. Have you even read the news about this? Or heard about it?
No.
No, I have not.
Okay. So, this thing is the very first ever telescope to be in deep space, meaning outside of what we call normal in our universe. And it picked up the first image. For real. And she showed me the image this morning, and it was amazing. For the first time ever, they've been able to spot rings around Uranus.
Damn it.
Yeah,
And they consider it a gassy planet. That's when you should hit the.
Yeah, I was going to hit that shit one more time.
yeah.
Get the rim shot. Mackie on the drums.
That was good.
That was a long setup.
That was a really good.
like I went all in on that one.
But I followed you, though, right off the cliff.
man, that was
Right off the
Yeah,
cliff.
That was good.
I can be convincing. It's
was
mainly
good.
my right eye.
Fuck. Oh, yeah.
My left eye is liar.
Do you know the Drake equation?
No, what is it?
So it's a real thing.
Oh.
The Drake equation essentially determines how much sentient life forms are in our universe. Right?
Wait, is this from the rapper Drake? Singer
no,
rap?
no.
Oh, okay, different Drake.
A scientist.
I was really wondering.
I was like,
damn,
man, that guy's got
Drake does it
skills.
all. Jeez.
So for anybody who's not in Indiana, there's a place called Story, Indiana. Teeny tiny little town. It has this little hotel, bar, restaurant. It's beautiful. In the bathroom of the Story Inn, which is outside, written in wood,
Is there a hole?
is the formula for the Drake equation.
No. Somebody wrote it on there?
Somebody wrote it on the wall. Here, I'll hold it up for the camera. Here's the Drake equation.
Do you know how to read that?
I know N stands
Shut
for
the truck. Truck mine now.
known universe equals R is, I think R stands for the radius of our galaxy. And then they're looking at the number of planets, the number of systems, and the estimated number of planets that can support life. And then this equation ultimately comes down to saying there could be up to X amount of other smart beings in our Milky Way.
Justin, what makes you a good business owner? If you could just bullet point.
I don't know. That's a really challenging thing to bullet point because there's so many components of owning a business. Especially with employees. When I first started doing it, the realization that other people are dependent on you for real, either family, kids are dependent on you. It's a very different perspective on things, and you make sure that you do your job tenfold. There's a lot of different hats you wear. The second that you start to figure that out, that you really start to figure out who you are, how you can make things work, how you can work with other people. And probably the biggest part is listening, taking other people's advice and being able to use that to your advantage so that you can, offer what people need and what they want. It's a very, very hard thing to do, especially in the beginning. It's an important part.
Well, I want to dig more into both of what you guys know about business. And I know you've got employees, so I also want to dig into that because I have employees and really pull out of you any knowledge you've got as how you get successful so quick because you ramped up fast and get buy-in. I mean, that is the biggest problem from any owner. Manager is how do I get my employees to buy into my vision, my direction, and my goals when they're not the owner. And that's tough. We'll get right to that. But before we do, Truck, you want to take us out? Boom. So, Justin, being a business owner, it's a difficult thing, right? We wear a lot of different hats, and we have to manage a lot of different people. Your vision isn't necessarily the vision of the person that's working for you, right? So we have to make sure we hire the right person and somehow get them to buy into your vision and here's the big thing, want to work for you and your goals. Even though they're not necessarily their goals at first. That's difficult. That's hard. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Nobody cares about my business as much as I do. My employees don't. My customers don't. Me, I'm it. Well, my two partners also are it for this one. But yeah, I mean, it's tough to get people to buy in on what you believe in, what's important to you, what you're passionate about. And if they're not on board, or at least partially on board with it, it's really challenging. I mean, paying people more is not necessarily the answer all the time. Being able to identify what's important to them too is very important. Being able to communicate and really listen to what they need and what they want and what's important to them. I mean, it really holds a lot of value when you're able to, I don't want to say own your mistakes, but you're able to listen to other people and take the criticism or the values or the ideas and turn it into something positive that has to do with your vision.
I get that. And I deal with that. I have employees as well across the country. And I've found that everybody comes to work for different reasons we talked about. But motivation's different for every person, right? So if you're trying to get them to buy in and believe in your model, right? It starts with probably the interview process. Like, what is the ideal candidate that you look for? Because I can tell you my 3 traits I'm looking for. What are some of the things that you're looking for to help propel this thing?
I look for someone who cares. I look for someone who finds sometimes maybe it's personally interesting for whatever job role it is. I like people who are engaged, who actually find interest in it, because, it's important to enjoy what you do for a living and say, I like this. It's a hard thing to find. Before being a business owner, I had lots of jobs that I was not passionate about. I was passionate about bettering myself, growing myself, and getting to the vision where I'm at now in life. But it took a lot of places that I didn't want to be. And my hope is that, providing a working environment for employees gives them something for what they need, whether it is financial, whether it is, one piece in their long-term vision, whether it is, a component they need to go to the next step in their life. But as long as we can fulfill that and we can help listen and we can be attentive to try to get them to whatever place they need to go, it helps. It's not always the answer. Owning a business is hard as hell. There's so many things that come with it that are just, there's no playbook to write it out. There's no magic formula. There's no bullet points to outline why your business is hard to run versus another person's business. So being a business owner requires listening to other people and being able to accept that and use it to your advantage rather than fight it.
Okay. But you still get slackers, right? And
Sure.
and you've got to get that. Like, my thought is, if you don't want to be here, I'm going to try to get you out as fast as possible, right? And you try to, and it's almost like sifting for gold. You sift through sand, you find your little gold nuggets, and you keep them, and you do everything you can to make sure they're happy, right? So that's very generalized. That's a high level thing. What are you doing to make sure that your employees are happy and they don't want to go anywhere else?
Ask them. Ask them if they're happy. Ask them if they're where they want to be. Ask them if there are things that they need. Talk to them. Listen to them. You're not always going to be able to give them what they want. Most of the time, you're not going to be able to. If it's money, there's constraints that you're able to do from a financial perspective as a business owner. But as long as you can communicate with them, identify what's important to them, and then you can do your best to provide that back, but also be a leader too. There are plenty of requests that employees have or things that employees need that are not going to help your business. And, it's an unfortunate part about it, but at the end of the day, there are things that you need to do as a business owner that's going to keep you alive or financially alive and be able to support yourself and your other employees. There's hard decisions, incredibly hard decisions that really impact people's ability to, keep themselves surviving. When you have employees, there's all these other variables. And in the meantime, you're also thinking about, are my customers paying me on time? Am I able to pay all the other things that I'm required to in order to, make a payroll or succeed or allocate money somewhere where it needs to grow your business? So there's a lot of components to it. There's a lot of differences and a lot of different businesses. But, at the end of the day, I think nobody cares about my business as much as I do and my partners.
What do you think are a few bullet point things that we need to be looking to? Because from what I understand and what I've read about you and what you've shared is that you're constantly reading white papers and other things at night, determining what is the next direction that I need to be aware of to be profitable and to help my clients. Like, what are the future things that we need to be looking at?
In digital businesses like e-commerce or any business that uses the web to generate value for their company, whether it's lead generation, whether it's selling things online, measurement is critical, because best practices of selling garments or clothing or service products mean nothing if you can't measure it. Because if you're an expert in your field, that's great. But if you can't measure that efficiency somehow and quantify that with something that's valuable, and be able to optimize and ultimately convert it for whatever your goals are, it's a really challenging thing to make that whole system work and be profitable and be able to pay your employees and
Right.
do all these other things that are necessary to run a business. So there's lots of parts to it, but I think with the fortunate thing with something like Popsicle is that data is quantifiable. You can measure it. It's black and white. There's no arguing with it. And that's one of the things that Popsicle does is help you to be able to quantify that data and say, this is in the best interest of my company and its vision. It's not.
Is it fair to say that without having a system like Popsicle in place, you're missing a lot of where your revenue is going and what the return is and who your demographic is?
Not necessarily. I mean, there's a lot of other solutions that help businesses measure what their return is for Facebook ads specifically. We're not an attribution tool. We are a performance enhancement tool. So Popsicle serves the purpose of adding better fuel to whatever engine you're driving versus being able to measure it more efficiently. Now, one of the effects from Popsicle and what you get from it is being able to measure more efficiently, but it's not what its design is. Our design is performance.
Okay. Well, I think that's pretty exciting.
Definitely exciting. Like knowing what I know. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
That's interesting. So if somebody was to come to you with any sort of issue or problem, right? I mean, what is your ideal candidate? Who is your ideal customer?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, I mean, any ideal customer Popsicle is any business, any digital marketer, any marketing agency, enterprise, small business that uses Facebook ads to achieve whatever goal they're trying to achieve. If it's selling things online, if it's booking shows, if it's generating new customers, Popsicle will help your business for Facebook ads. So, any business out there that is running Facebook ads, it will help optimize those to do whatever you're doing or whatever your goal is. And it will help do that better, cheaper, more cost efficient, and allow you to scale at a higher rate to reach more people who need to help you satisfy that goal.
Okay. I think that's well said. Truck, you got anything on that?
I mean, I'm just excited to see how it all falls out. Like it sounds
Yeah.
like a great idea. So
Thank you.
Yeah.
It is. When we talk about buying employees and trying to get them to see your vision, when it comes to monitoring their performance and are they doing the job or not, what do you use for that? What do you do? What are your procedures?
Yeah, so we're 100% remote company. So every single one of our employees works out of their home or a shared office or something like that. We use a lot of project management tools to monitor efficiency. Scenarios, you can track hours. Now, a lot of employees, when you're starting to track hours, see that as micromanagement or trying to evaluate what they're doing all day, and it's really not. For a business owner, when you're doing something like measuring the number of hours spent on a task, you're looking at it from the cost. How much does that cost translate into time, and how much time do you have to give, and can you delegate that time efficiently? So measuring people's hours is an efficient for remote type work. There are other tools out there that really help expedite things like that. Project management tools like Asana or Jira or Slack is a great method for direct communication. All those things help make it feel like a real workplace environment that you're in with other people. Right. You can look at performance. Performance is however you measure that performance. And again, back to the measurement aspect, if you're not measuring it efficiently in the beginning, they can work from home, they can work in the office. It doesn't matter if you're not measuring it as a business owner efficiently.
I happen to have a few data points here.
Okay.
And I'm just curious what both of you might think. Okay. So this one comes down to what drives people away from your business. That's why I'm asking certain questions. What drives people away from your business, what would you say is number one?
Trust.
What would you say, Truck?
I would say same, because like I work in insurance. I'm like, I can tell you, hey, you can make $10,000 in a day if you wanted to, and you hear that, and it's like, you don't trust it. But I've done it, but you don't believe it. So it's trust.
Okay, so I like trust, right? But to me, trust is a reason for somebody to do business with you, right?
You're right. And if you layer in transparency as a business, then you're right. You've got a golden ticket, because if you can provide trust and you can be transparent about how you operate as a business and what your goals are and what you're doing for your customer or client, you can retain someone forever at that point.
And trust from both of you guys, like, you're not wrong, right? This is a very specific report, which I'll tell you what the number one is in a second. But no matter what you think you sell, digital, connections and whatever popsicle the total thing is, computer software and web design, ad sales, it doesn't matter what you sell. You truly all sell the same thing, which is trust. Nobody's going to do business with you if they don't trust you can do what you say you're going to do. True. Agree with that 100%. But what this was asking was what drives people away. Now, antitrust, right? Things that fail, but what leads up to failure of trust could be measured in little steps. For example, the very first one, the most are the largest, is bad employee attitudes. Right? That's the number one reason that companies leave somebody that's servicing them at that time. Any idea what number two would be? It'd be kind of the same. I'd give you this one. Unfriendly service. That kind of goes with bad attitudes, right? And then untrusted company. We talked about that for sure, right? Unknowledgeable employees. That's the next one. That's the next largest. They don't know what the heck they're talking about. Because let's be honest, to build trust, you have to also be seen as a professional in your field, right? You have to be the consultant. People have to look at you as, I can trust this person, and they know what they're talking about. So that makes sense. And then the next one is inefficiency.
Yeah, I mean, with something that is performance based, or service based, inefficiency could play a large role in that, especially with something like marketing, where if a business hires a marketing agency and they're relying on that business to produce results at a more profitable rate or a higher scale or whatever they're is important to them, inefficiency 100% would play that top reason. Having owned a marketing agency, employees play a huge role in that. Their ability to play the role of an expert is incredibly important, because that also aligns with trust. If they can't play the role of the product expert for whatever we are selling as a service to that business, it doesn't really give a lot of trust back to them, because that's what you get paid for. So that's one of the things that I really like about Popsicle, is that it's SaaS and it's a product, and it either works or it doesn't work. There are other products out there, startups that started a while ago, like HubSpot or even Salesforce, where Salesforce does a lot of things, way more than Popsicle does. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't work for the customer, there's no reason to keep it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Salesforce is expensive.
I've been with HubSpot. HubSpot's not a bad tool. There's
Right.
been all kinds of notifications on it about this coming to light and that there should be actions taken. So it sounds like there's a great solution.
Yeah.
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 So tell you what, why don't we take a quick break, listen to some Truck Norris, and when we come back, we're going to play Ripped from the Headlines.
I like it.
Oh, it's an amazing game. Okay, so ripped from the headlines. What are we going to do? Well, it works like this. I'm going to give one real headline in which you will not know the answers. In fact, my lovely assistant over here, who's the producer, doesn't even know the answers. Like, I've kept it secret. She's like, what is it? What is it? Early enough? Nope. You're going to have to wait and see. So the only people that know the true headline is me. So there's going to be 3 red, and I'm going to ask you which one's your choice. Okay? There's only three rounds, and that's it. Okay?
Yep.
Choose wisely.
Got it.
Okay. Ready for this?
I'm ready.
Okay. Here we go. Bored baby wishes it had something to choke on. Bellevue, Washington. Right out the gate, it's hard to even read this. Bellevue, Washington, complaining that it had been stuck in a playroom all morning with nothing small to grab. Bored infant Oliver Rowland confirmed Monday that he wished he had something to choke on. God, I would kill for a penny right now, said Rowland.
Sounds like my 3-year-old.
That's one. A distillery is fighting invasive crabs. I've had that problem before. Has anybody else?
Jesus.
No, I'm just kidding. I haven't. A distillery is fighting invasive crabs by turning them into whiskey. Oh.
Huh.
Okay. Next one. Competitive eater tragically forgets to take ball gag out of mouth before eating. When questioned why he lost, he said, "I'm not used to the hot dog going in my mouth. My owner chose other places."
What the hell? Wow.
I mean, okay, so to recap.
Wait, hold on.
Yes.
Back up.
Go
Yeah.
So this competitive eater is, as
yes.
he's trying to put food in his mouth, he forgot that he has a ball gag
It can happen.
in it. Can it?
Well, your lips go numb and you
That's fine.
forget it's there. It depends on how long it's been there.
Yeah.
If it's been there for like
Yeah.
months, you just totally just adopt to it and you forget.
Yeah, if it's been there for months.
I mean, have you ever been to Frankfurt, Indiana?
I have.
Do you know what their mascot is?
Is it a hot dog?
It's a fighting hot dog. The hands. No, it's actually a wiener dog. It's a Dachshund, for real. It's a mean Dachshund, though. They can be angry. All right, so to recap, just to make sure, okay, we're going to go around the room. A distillery is fighting invasive crabs by turning them into whiskey. Imagine needing a breath mint after that. Baby bored wishes it had something to choke on. Boredom's a real thing. And a competitive eater tragically forgets the ball gag out of his mouth before eating a hot dog. All right, Truck, you want to start? Which one's the real headline?
The whisk. I think it's the crabs and the whiskey because there's a certain amount of sugar in a crab. Like I've seen breweries make beer with like oyster juice, crab juice, whatever. So I think it's the distillery.
I have a follow-up question.
Yeah.
What is the sugar to crab ratio?
Okay. All right, so what's your choice?
The crabs, whiskey.
Are you going with the crabs?
Yeah, crabs. I'll take the crabs, please.
Justin?
Please.
Well, last time we did this,
Yes.
I shared the same answer as you, and we both lost. So my strategy is going to be a little bit different this
Go
time,
ahead. Go ahead.
and I have to make the decision to analyze the choking man versus the hopefully choking baby.
A choking
Yeah.
baby.
A bored baby. And there's,
Bored baby.
I don't know if you ever dealt with one of those, but they
I have
are very,
How old was the baby?
very hit.
3 years old, and it
It's not a
wished
baby though.
it wished it had a penny to swallow.
Was the baby 3?
No, it didn't give an age. I'm
it
amazed that you said 3 because you pulled that. But no, it just says a toddler.
So the
An
only
infant.
reason I'm going to go with the ball gag guy is because I don't think an infant can identify a penny.
How
Let
does
alone
somebody
form a
walk around with
sentence?
Damn ball gag. I'm a competitive eater, but I got a ball gag. You gotta be.
Final answer.
Final answer. Okay. We got Truck with one.
What?
A distillery is fighting invasive crabs by turning them into whiskey. Green crabs are the pests that have plagued North America's marine ecosystem for more than 200 years. A New Hampshire distillery is taking the problem in their own hands and came up with a crab flavored whiskey. So it does taste like crab. Wow, a lot of hot dogs mentioned in the news.
4th of July. I mean,
A lot. Nashville hot dog eatery offering free milkshake with proof of vasectomy.
Proof of vasectomy?
Yeah. Why do you have to
I'll
have
take that
be
deal.
a hot dog
I'll
place?
take that deal. Yeah.
All right. UK tribunal rules calling a man bald as sexual harassment or harassment wherever you are from the country. Okay. Oh, nation's overweight bullies announce a plan to sit on you. Jacksonville, I got to read it. This is great. Jacksonville, Mississippi, which would be the place you'd think this would come from, urging every American to stay still and quit squirming. The nation's overweight bullies announced Friday their plan to sit on you. Rest assured, we will chase you down. This is from a spokesman. We will chase you down very slowly. We will throw you onto the blacktop and we will take a seat on you, said Jason Evans, speaking on behalf of the country's portly obsessive, claiming that no one would be able to hear your cries for help. You would be muffled underneath his large ass.
I feel like this round could go any way. Like,
I had to read the rest
Jesus.
of that.
This could go any way.
Oh, goodness. All right. So which is it? UK tribunal rules, and we're going to go with you this time first. UK tribunal rules calling a man bald as sexual harassment. Nashville hot dog eatery offers free milkshake after vasectomy. And nation's heavyweight bullies announce plan to sit on you.
Well, last time I went with my gut about the man who forgot that he had a ball gag in his mouth to eat hot dogs, if I remember. So I'm going to go with another hot dog.
Oh, going straight for the hot dog.
Yeah.
Okay. And truck.
I think the milkshake with the vasectomy. Like, that just sounds like a fair deal. Like, with everything's going on, like, oh, you got clipped, come get a milkshake. Like, I would have liked a milkshake after my vasectomy. Like, yeah.
You know what? I would have liked a milkshake after my vasectomy.
Yeah, seriously. Like, what the fuck? Like, I got a bag of peas and fucking, my wife was like, you ain't that damn hurt. Like, fuck. Like,
Did we just start another business?
we did, dude. Like, did we just become friends? Like, straight up, like, yeah, I would have loved a milkshake after a fucking vasectomy. Like, seriously.
Me too.
Oh, my God.
Seriously.
Me too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 0 points on that one, gents.
Shit.
0 points. The true story was UK tribunal rules calling a man bald as sexual harassment. Yeah. So calling a man, first of all, have you guys ever watched Benny Hill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bald-headed guys. Okay. So calling a man bald is considered sexual harassment. A British employment tribunal ruled on Wednesday. 3 members of the tribunal, which is the body that workplace disputes, said that since baldness was more prevalent in men than women, using the word bald is an insult.
Oh, God.
Therefore, should be protected. The tribunal, whose members alluded to their own experiences with hair loss, also compared calling a man bald to commenting on a woman's size of her breasts.
I'm going to call
And that's where the
horseshit.
Benny Hill comes in.
I'm calling horseshit because bald guys get laid a lot. Like, it's you
I've
can be
seen it.
bald and like dress nice and smell good and trim your face up and all that shit and have some swag. Like, if you bald and you have no swag, like,
Listen, there are some sexy bald people out there.
dude, like Patrick, the guy from Star Wars, Patrick Stewart? No, Star Trek.
Survey says
Star Trek, Patrick Stewart, the bald guy.
Picard.
Yeah.
Picard, Captain
Yeah.
Picard. You don't think Picard gets laid? Like, hello, I'm Captain
my.
Picard. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
he's getting laid. Like, no, you can't.
Huh.
I mean,
Well, I know I've shaved my head before because I thought it would look cool, and I didn't get laid for like a year.
Jesus.
It had to grow in. I have a weird shaped head, for real. That's a true
Well,
story.
all right. Hey,
We
fair
should probably
enough.
cut that out.
Fair, no.
I'm just speaking from the
Run
heart
with it.
here.
Like,
Okay, so round 3. Uber Eats adds feature letting users purposely order wrong items so they can scream at the driver. Okay, finally implementing a prototype the customers have been requesting for years. Uber Eats added a new feature Tuesday that lets users purposely order wrong items so they can scream at drivers. Okay, people need to blow off steam is what it said.
Sounds volatile.
Yeah.
sounds very volatile.
Okay, Next one, Boston Transit Agency to urine sensors on elevators.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
I mean, I've been in the situation where I thought it would be a good idea.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of elevators and a lot of cities that smell really bad.
Well, you're in trouble no more. The Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority hopes with a new program to tackle public urination in systems elevators with technology. That doesn't sound bad. I wouldn't want to be the person caught, but I get it. All right. Headline number 3, American Airline introduces new nonstop flights directly into the side of a mountain. In response to skyrocketing consumer demand, American Airlines introduced new nonstop flights directly into the side of a mountain. Sources confirmed Thursday, beginning this weekend, American Airlines customers will now be able to book convenient one-way trips that will transport them from over 300 U.S. airports into the broad side of the mountain in under 2 hours. This is okay. So I got to read this. It gets even better. American Airlines CEO Robert Isom, in press release, unveiled the new destinations, which include Alaska, Mount Denali, California's Mount Whitney, Colorado's Mount Elbert, and North Carolina's Mount Mitchell, and New Hampshire's Mount Washington. As consumers' tastes change, American Airlines is committed to getting travelers to the places they want to go, whether that's heading to Hawaii to slam into beautiful Mount Mauna Kea, cruising straight for the Cascade Range, or soaring right into the Appalachians.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
so
really good.
Just to recap.
Yeah, let's recap.
Uber Eats adds feature letting users purposely order wrong items so they can scream at the driver. Boston Transit Agency to try urine sensors on elevators, and American Airlines introduces new nonstop flights directly into the side of a mountain. Okay, we're back to you, Truck.
Urine sensors.
Oh,
Yeah, it's the only thing that makes sense. If Uber is letting people scream at their drivers, like, I will switch to DoorDash, like,
Only to try to keep alive in this game.
oh.
yeah,
I'm going to choose Uber.
Win for Mr. Truck Norris because he got it right. He knows his piss in elevators.
Yeah.
Boston has definitely done that. In fact, they put them in all the places. They're testing it out. And here's what's crazy. As soon as they detect piss, okay, a cleaning crew is dispatched to the elevator. Now, I don't know if it's a really tall building. If they show up on floor 36 and you come out, and you're like, geez, I didn't think anybody would know about this. And there's a cleaning crew. You pissed, sir. Get out. We got to clean it. But seriously, it says dispatched cleaning service.
Jesus, that's
Pretty impressive. Wow.
Horrible waste of tax dollars because they're always going to be dispatched
Yeah.
every hour on the hour. Like,
I've seen some massive things in elevators before, but never a pile of piss.
What kind of massive things have you seen in elevators before?
I hate to say it because it's going to sound disgusting, but me and my sister got in an elevator once and there was a turd in the corner.
Jesus,
That's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
I would have took the stairs.
It was the elevator downtown next to Adobo Mexican Grill.
Yeah, I can see poops in that one.
Yeah. Tacos. You didn't want the tacos. Oh, yeah. It was a glass elevator for sure. And think about this. We were stuck on it, riding up to the 4th floor. So when the
And see, that's why I
when
would
the
have took the
elevator-
stairs.
when the
That's why I
elevator
would have took the
closed,
stairs right there.
we couldn't get off until I hit elevator. I'm like,
Nope.
We're just we're just trying to survive.
Nope.
It was horrible.
Nope. You damn right it's horrible. On a
Oh, if there was
elevator with
if there was a fancy poop detector in there, then
Right. They would dispatch a cleaning crew immediately
you would have been fine.
and a cop. Because you should be arrested for such things. It's disgusting.
and a biohazard team. Yeah.
Right. One of the best DJs in town.
Thank you.
Truck Norris. Please, how can they find you?
So all of my social media is pretty much going to be the same. TRUKK Norris. Truck Norris. That's across the board. IG, Facebook, TikTok, whatever. Like you, if you Google Truck Norris, you will find me, or whatever social media. I've probably got a page there. I'm also working on a new website, trucknorris.com. That's coming soon. Whole lot going on. So yeah.
Yep, holler at him, man. He is good. And I will also put your contact information at the end of this video. And then over to Justin Whitaker. Justin, love everything I learned about you tonight and your new business. I thought it was a great time. And I think the listeners probably learned a lot about what it is that you can do and solve for. How do they find you?
Yeah, they can go to our website, Popsicle with an X, POPSIXLE.com. Get any information about who we are, what we do, how it works, pricing, and then you can also find us on socials at Get Popsicle.
I like that. Get Popsicle. Well, thank you both so much for joining me tonight. And thank you for everybody that's watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and keep visiting gfstv.net. That's our website. So thank you again. And thanks again, guys. Let's rock and roll. If you don't mind taking us out.